Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we got an article by Bleacher Report titled, "One Flaw Every NBA Team Must Fix Before It's Too Late." And according to league sources, about 42.3.972% of teams, it's actually too late. I'm sorry, Detroit Pistons. It's too late for us, man. It's just too late. So let's go ahead and get going on this. Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what flaw that you think your team has. And I'm going to try my best to give like a solution to each flaw. But also, I'm not a real life general manager. I would be if, man, I'm going to hire or something like that. I would even take a assistant water boy job at this point, man. Let's get it. Okay, we got the Atlanta Hawks with perimeter defense. If I got to tell you guys to get Marcus Smart one more time, bro. Every time I do a video like this, it's always the damn perimeter defense. Marcus Smart makes you guys a contending team. A contending team. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on that, man. Maybe y'all could do like a DeAndre Hunter type of thing, right? And you can put Kevin Huerter at the 3. I can't redshirt 32, man. I don't know, man. There's things to be done. There's not saying Marcus Smart's going to be given away, but somebody like that, man. DeAnthony Melton, some sort of like defense. Matisse Thybulle. I don't know, man. There's answers out there. Okay, next up we got the Boston Celtics with erratic shooting. Yeah, I was on team basketball to start the season where it's like, yeah, the basketball just kind of sucks, but it gets to a point where it ain't sucking for everybody anymore. Like Steph Curry's doing just fine with it. So yeah, man, definitely got to fix some consistencies, but I think a lot of that, it comes down to Jason Tatum, growing as a player, even more so than he already has, but also maybe just like the overall like makeup of the roster. Just, I don't know, man. I've been saying forever that this is a transitional year for the Celtics, and next offseason they're gonna be big time players. Okay, next up we got the Brooklyn Nets with underwhelming bigs. Damn, bro, it says underwhelming bigs, and we got a picture of Blake Griffin, man. The amount of roasting I've gone through about Blake Griffin, man, just to see him in this article like this. Yeah, I think right now they got LaMarcus Aldridge starting, which is not like a long-term solution. So, I don't know. There's like, they got to be like somebody out there. Like just get, like, look at the Warriors. Like, y'all got like Kevon Looney, and they're doing just fine. Like, get you like a Devontae Kakak or something like that. I don't know, man. There's Ken Birch. I don't know. Just something, get like an actual center, because Blake Griffin is not an actual center. I don't really know what he is anymore. Next up, I don't know what to tell you what he is, bro. He's a bench warmer, man. Okay, we got the Charlotte Hornets leaky defense. I don't like the word leaky. It's just not a nice word, man. But yeah, I know like Mason Plumlee was brought onto this team as the center to maybe strengthen them a little bit defensively, but he has been very average. He was definitely a one-hit wonder for the Pistons last year. And it's like LaMelo Ball is not like notoriously known to be like a great defender or anything like that. They got a lot of offense, but yeah, they definitely are offensive heavy on the squad. Okay, next up we got the Chicago Bulls with 3-point volume. This one makes sense. Thing about the Bulls though is that they're actually shooting the 3 ball very consistently, just not high volume. So, well, as it literally says, but yeah, like, you got DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan's not a high-volume three-point shooter. He's one of the best players on the team. Zach LaVine can knock it down. Lonzo Ball, I think, is an efficient three-point shooter. So, yeah, obviously you want to go with the wave of the NBA, but at the same time, like, if you're, like, taking less attempts, but you're still shooting it really highly and you're getting other high percentage shots, I like to think that's okay. So, yeah. Okay, next up we got the Cleveland Cavaliers with spacing issues. Yeah, you kind of accept that once you put Lauri Markkanen at the 3 spot, and obviously Lauri can help with spacing and everything, but I think there's more to spacing than just being able to shoot. There's a lot of it comes down to running off screens and really just movement without the basketball. When you have such a tall lineup like that, you do overall lose mobility, right? So yeah, you kind of like have to have some sacrifice right there based on how you want to run the lineup. Next up, we got the Dallas Mavericks, lack of quality wins. To me, if you don't have a lack of quality wins, that shows big-time weakness within the roster. Luka Doncic is good enough by himself to beat up on bad teams. But, yeah, when it comes down to, like, beating the big-time opponents, one guy can't do it, man. Like, look at LeBron James years ago on the Cleveland Cavaliers. When he got to the finals, he got swept by the Spurs, right? It's like you just can't do it by yourself, right? So, okay, next up we got the Denver Nuggets with support scoring. Well, yeah, when Jamal Murray and Michael Porter are both out, makes it a little difficult. You can't really fix that. That's just, those are two max contract guys that are just not playing. It's like you can't fix that via trade or free agency if you just, that cap space is just gone because the guys are injured, right? Okay, next we got the Detroit Pistons, abysmal shooting. Cade been shooting like 60% from three over the past like 3 games. Killian Hayes is actually pretty solid. He doesn't really shoot a lot of threes, but he knocks down the ones that he takes. Jeremy Grant could be a little streaky. And then what do you expect from Sadiq Bey's been very disappointing this season. I'm very disappointed in Sadiq Bey. I was really expecting him to break out, but definitely more sophomore slump. I thought he was going to come into the season like, and even since he's not even like shooting well either. Like that was his thing last year. He was a good shooter, and this year it was supposed to be okay. He can do that. What else can you do? And now he just can't do any of it, and it's kind of sad. Next up, we got the Golden State Warriors with lack of size. Okay, when you're a team as good as the Warriors, this is definitely a reach. They've never been an extremely tall team. That's just not how they run things out there. Draymond Green plays like he's 7 foot, so it's all good. Yeah, the Warriors are fine. And plus, you're getting Klay Thompson back soon, so, which, Klay Thompson's like 6'7", isn't he? So, yeah, that's some more height on the team for you. We got the Houston Rockets, turnover troubles. Yeah, man, so, a lot of this comes down to not only having Jalen Green on the team, who is obviously a rookie shooting guard and everything, although he hasn't been playing as of late, but they got Kevin Porter at point guard. Kevin Porter is naturally a 2, and once you are asked, I think the point guard position is the toughest to play in, in basketball, so when you're asked to initiate the offense, and you got to focus on getting others involved and running the plays and all that, and knowing where everybody else is as opposed to just where you have to be, that does so much mentally wise to you. It just, like, not everybody should be a point guard, and that's not saying Kevin Porter can't do it sometimes, but I like him more in like a Jordan Clarkson type of role, where it's like he's typically a bucket getter, but, sometimes he can play a little point guard too, but full-time starter, do not like it. Next up, we got the Indiana Pacers with a late game execution. Yeah, not really too much of an excuse for this one. The Pacers have been very disappointing this season, which sucks because their roster on paper looks really good. You feel like the execution should be able to be there. I think their issue is that they don't have the guy. Like, Sabonis is the guy, but he's not the guy. Like, he's a second option, third option on a championship team, in my opinion. Okay, next up, we got the Los Angeles Clippers, limited playmaking. This has been an issue with them for years. I think I was saying last season how bad I wanted this team to go after, like, a Kyle Lowry or somebody like that. But at the same time, I think it's okay in this case because, Reggie Jackson typically brings scoring at the point guard position. And not having Kawhi Leonard on the team and everything like that right now, like, they definitely need that type of scoring. But yeah, having, like, to actually win a championship, you typically need some sort of, like, initiator as far as running the offense and stuff, right? It doesn't always be the point guard position, but somebody on the team, right? Next up, we got the Los Angeles Lakers backcourt shooting. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like I said, I think the Lakers just got too caught up in the names. We all know Russell Westbrook was not a good fit next to LeBron. We all knew that. Even you knew that. Even if you don't want to say it, you knew that Russell is not the optimal player next to LeBron James. So it's not surprising to me one bit that they've struggled in that regard, right? It's like Russell is who he is, and he's a great player. Russell Westbrook is a great player, but great player does not always equate to great fit. Okay, we got the Memphis Grizzlies defensive woes. Yeah, I mean, I was like trying to think something to like say about it. I was like thinking like who was on the team and stuff like that because they don't got valid shooters. They got Steven Adams, but Jaren Jackson really should be a great defensive player. I don't really know how he's been this season as far as that goes, but okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody got fixed defense, right? Miami Heat, Duncan Robinson shooting funk, so you can't really fix this before it's too late. This is more so something that he just has to get through. A lot of shooters go through this at some point in their NBA career. Fact of the matter is that you just got to keep on shooting it, right? Like, we know Duncan Robinson's a great shooter, and that's not something that just disappears unless, this is like the sequel to Space Jam or something like that, but where somebody, some bitch-ass little alien took his shooting powers or something, but he'll get there in time. He'll get back with it, so, yeah. Okay, next up, we got the Milwaukee Bucks with Brook Lopez's bulky back. Once again, something that just has to heal. Injuries suck. Everybody goes through them. But that's why the rest of the team is so important. You always got to have the backups ready where it's like, like your day, your time could be called any time now, man. Like, you are next up, right? So obviously they already got Bobby Portis, who's been really good this season, but, Brook Lopez brings a certain level just of that big body and defensive, presence. They got Boogie Cousins and everything, but, he's a shell of his former self. So yeah, this is one that, Brook Lopez just has to get healthy. Okay, next up, we got the T-Wolves with inefficient offense, which is so surprising, man. I've been saying this for a while. Like, this team is so backwards with what I expected from them this season. As far as, like, their defense is great, their offense is bad, which is so weird because they got so many great potential offensive players on this team. But I think a lot of it, though, is a lot of individual greatness talking about offense, where it's like a great offensive team, it's not about what you can do, it's about what you can do for your teammates too. And I just feel like maybe that's an issue with the T-Wolves. Next up, we got the Pelicans. The Zion Williamson-sized hole in the roster. Yeah, I've seen some pictures of Zion, man, and that's like a pretty big hole these days. I hope that, my greatest concern with Zion is that I hope he's good, mentally and everything like that. I mean, a lot of people struggle with weight gain and stuff like that. Like, I know the argument is like, he's a basketball player. He should be able to, there's a lot more to it than that. So, I think first and foremost, my heart just goes out to Zion. I just hope he's good and healthy, and this is not a situation, 3, 4, 5 years down the road that we look back and be like, what if? I just really hope he, gets his body right and everything like that, man, because he's a great player, and I don't want him to be the next what if. Okay, next up we have the New York Knicks, Julius Randle's regression. Okay, so with Julius Randle being the most improved player last year, his stock shot up like that. Like, he was fantastic. The years prior to that, he was more like, I know before he got most improved, like the year before, like Knicks fans did not like Julius Randle. He was just a ball stopper and everything like that. But he had a really good year last year. And sometimes that happens where you just have a great year and then things kind of like stagnate out a little bit. And that might be what we're seeing with Julius, which is why you have to really know as a coach what your personnel is and what they're capable of, and what you need to do to address those issues, right? And their aggression was to get Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, which on paper looks good, but that's also not recognizing, like what Kemba's like right now, man. Coming off a bad knee injury and everything like that, and now he's out of the rotation. So the things that they did to get guys around Julius Randle just haven't really panned out, and now Julius is like, he's just Julius Randle again, which is still a really good player, but not enough to win you a championship. Next up, we do have the OKC Thunder, everything except the damn Detroit Pistons. Bro, I cannot believe we lost that damn game. I cannot believe it, man. No, the Thunder are fine. They're in tank mode. Shea's great. Giddey's great. Dort's great. They're doing fine. Like, this is exactly... They are doing what they need to be doing. Like, I guess... Well, wait. If that's the case, they would have lost to the Pistons, right? So, yeah. Okay, next up, we got the Magic. Terrence Ross is sinking trade value. Yeah, he's just kind of like in this weird... just span of his career where we all recognize Terrence Ross as a great talent, but you almost become like forgotten, when you're like a veteran good player on a rebuilding team, because as far as the rebuild goes, you're not really helping that, but also your skill set's not getting recognized because you're not playing, in winning basketball games. Next up, we got the 76ers, the unresolved Ben Simmons saga. Next up, we got the Phoenix Suns with some front court floor spacing. I wouldn't mind the Phoenix Suns going out and getting one additional stretch big. I don't know who that is exactly. I would love if they got maybe somebody like a PJ Washington. PJ Washington would be a really good fit of that 4 spot. Kind of have like a rotation of him and Cam Johnson. Nothing against Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder can also play too because he can play multiple positions. But something like that would be kind of nice. Kevin Love's way too expensive, so that's not happening unless a buyout happens. But yeah, something along those lines would be nice. Next up, we got the Portland Trail Blazers defense. Yeah, it's funny enough, Damian Lillard just like listed off a list of he listed off players that he wants to play with. Those being defensive guys. He said Jaylen Brown. We all know he wants to play Draymond Green. Ben Simmons. I think he also said Aaron Gordon too, which Aaron Gordon kind of caught me off guard, but Aaron Gordon's a cool guy, I'm sure. He was in a movie before. Next up, we got the Kings. De'Aaron Fox's failure to launch. Don't really know what they mean by this one. Oh, this is his leap year isn't happening. Okay, so yeah, like his numbers are down quite a bit. A lot of that could just be uncertainty and everything like that. Obviously, having a new coach and everything too. There's a new point guard, Davion Mitchell, on the team. There's a lot of guards on the team in general. So yeah, that can just kind of make things a little difficult. Next up, we got the Spurs with individual offense. This one's actually super interesting if you think about it, because the coach, Coach Greg Popovich, his offense has always been focused on ball movement, and maybe it's to a case, but you also got to be able to take over sometime. That's why the Spurs dynasty was so great with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Bruce Brown, all those guys, is because they can move the basketball and find the most optimal shot, but when push comes to shove, you could also dump it into Tim Duncan, or you give to Tony Parker or Manu Ginobili in the isolation, and they can get you a bucket that way too. So yeah, you got to be able to have those options. Toronto Raptors, not enough analytically approved shots, which means they're shooting a lot of mid-ranges. That just comes with coaching and realizing that you're doing that, I guess. Next up, we got the Utah Jazz with too many giveaways. Yeah, I don't really know how it says they have the best offense and the sixth best defense. Turnover-wise, 22nd in the NBA, which is crazy having a team with Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley, both historically, I think, take care of the basketball fine. Mike Conley obviously being a veteran point guard. Joe Ingles is the guy that can handle the rock, Jordan Clarkson. So, yeah, just a little sloppy play they got to work on, so they'll get there in time. And we got the Washington Wizards' Bradley Beal's cold shooting. Once again, not something he can fix, but we all know historically speaking, he's more than capable of lighting it up. Good thing is that he has really good teammates around him now and everything, so that's great. But yeah, man, that's all we got for this video. What y'all think about these flaws? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.